everyone, Jennifer here. Today we are going to be discussing common courtesies. This is an etiquette discussion, something I've been wanting to talk about for a few months now, ever since my book Polish Your Poise with Madame Chic came out. I discuss common courtesies in this book, and I just wanted to quickly read to you the intro of what I say about them here. It says, "Common courtesies are the manners 101 of the etiquette world. Sadly, it's a course that most of society is currently flunking. Common courtesy is saying please and thank you, saying excuse me when you bump into someone, holding the door open for the person behind you. Common courtesy should govern the way you interact with everyone, from the grocery checkout person to the janitor at your office. I include common courtesy in this chapter on communication because manners communicate respect to other people." So common courtesies are something that I definitely see slipping away slowly in our society. And I'm really looking forward to reading the comment section on this video because I'm sure that many of you see this as well. And I love for people to share their stories here on the Daily Connoisseur. And it's not just to vent, because sometimes it is nice to vent. You know, you can say, "Oh, this happened to me today. Can you believe it?" And it feels good to just get that out there. And I actually think that that's important, to be able to express your frustration with the way that society is going. So it's definitely therapeutic sometimes to vent how you feel about things, about the lack of common courtesy in our modern society. It's also a place where hopefully we can come up with ideas on how to make it better, how to make the world a better place, and how we cannot slip down to the level that society is going right now, how we can maintain our high standards no matter what is happening around us. So in today's video, I wanted to share three sort of incidents that really have stuck with me recently about common courtesies in my own personal life. Now, the first one stems back to this past summer now. So we're going a few months back. And when we moved into our new house, we have a backyard now. So we got a play set for our children, and it's something we've always wanted to do, you know, a little fort with a slide and a swing set, that type of thing for them. And we had it installed this summer. Now, the man who came to install the play set, you know, we had to schedule an appointment, and he came. It was supposed to be two men, and unfortunately his partner called in sick. So it was just this one man, and it was on a day that was so hot. I felt like it was 90 degrees, and this poor guy, he was literally in our garden for almost 12 hours assembling this play set. And I kept saying, you can come back. You don't need to do it all in one day. But it was his company policy. You know, he had to get it done. So anyway, when the man came over to assemble the play set, you know, I introduced him to my husband and everything. And I offered him some water. And throughout the day, I'd offer him food and drink because it was so hot outside. I mean, the man was slaving away out there in our backyard, literally. And he was such a nice guy. And at the end of the day, when he finished the play set, it was literally the sun was about to go down. And the girls were so excited, just chomping at the bit all day to get on this thing. Finally, they could go on it. He said to me and my husband, he said, "You know, I have been doing this job for a very long time." And he says, "I go to some of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Los Angeles." He says, "I've been to, you know, Beverly Hills and Malibu and all of these really wealthy households." And he said, "Nobody has ever treated me as nicely as you two have treated me." And he said, "Normally I'm just ignored the whole day and just treated like, I don't know, nothing, basically." And that really stuck with me. And I thought, well, in my head, I thought, I'm just extending a common courtesy. Here's somebody who is coming into our home to do something for us, and it's a 90-degree day. It seems like common sense to offer a drink and some food and that type of thing. But he said absolutely it's never happened in his entire life. And in fact, he says not only that, but people are actually, they go out of their way to be rude to him, to complain and to criticize the job that he's doing. So I remember that This was back in the summer that he told me this, and I felt good because I thought, wow, that's what I want people to feel when they come to our home. I don't care who they are. If they're an invited guest or someone that we've hired to build a place set for us, I want them to feel the warmth from our family. I want our common courtesy, just general basic courtesy, to extend to all people. What he said to me really struck me, and I was happy that he communicated that to me. The second story that I have for you. Since we've moved into this new neighborhood, the street that we live on is rather narrow. And so when you're driving down the street, if there's cars parked on both sides and another car is coming in the opposite direction, oftentimes you will have to sort of pull over to the side to let the other car pass. Or the other car will do this for you, for example, because there's not room enough for everybody to go down at the same time. Again, we moved here last summer, and it has just bothered my husband and I so much because this has happened to both of us ever since we've moved here. We'll be going down the road, and I always just pull over and let the other person go most of the time. Sometimes they'll pull over for me, which is nice. And when somebody does that for you, you're supposed to wave. A wave of thanks, right? This is just a common courtesy. And so I cannot tell you how many times this has happened, but my husband or I will pull over and let another car go, and they don't even look at you. They don't even acknowledge you, and they just drive forward. There's no wave of thanks. And this really bothers my husband, being from England, because in England they do definitely wave. I have noticed this. They give a little courtesy wave to you when you do something like that on the road. But here it's like a sense of entitlement. Like, yes, you should pull over for me, and now I'm coming through and I'm not going to wave and say thank you. It's these little small irritating things, right, that just, they bother me. And I know that they bother other people as well. Now, the thing is that I cannot become so jaded by it because it has never happened to me. I mean, maybe once. I can't even remember it, but I'm sure maybe once somebody waved thank you if I let them pass. But I can't let that bother me and think, well, nobody else does it, so I'm going to stop doing it. No, every time somebody lets me pass, I wave and smile and say thank you. These are my neighbors, or they're people commuting through my neighborhood. It's important for me that I don't drop that I continue to wave, because you never know how your actions will touch somebody else. Somebody could be rushing through their morning and they see a stranger wave at them through another car, and it might do something for them that day. Who knows? There's another example. And the third example I want to say is this. This is unbelievable, actually. But the other day I was at Costco by myself, and when you go to Costco, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it's a wholesale warehouse type store, and we tend to buy big things from there, like paper towels or giant bulk things that we need for the house. And when you go to Costco, they put your items in recycled boxes, and the boxes tend to be pretty heavy. So I was at Costco by myself, and I was in the parking lot, and I was loading my car, and I had these heavy boxes. I can't remember what I got, but needless to say, I had a lot of things in my cart, and they were quite heavy. So I'm standing in front of the trunk of my car, and I am 6 months pregnant, rather large. It's very obvious that I'm pregnant, okay? My belly is quite big. I'm very clearly a pregnant lady, right? And I'm standing at my cart, and I am trying to lift this box out of my cart into the trunk. And I started to struggle. So I'm lifting it up, and it was stuck in the cart, and I couldn't let it go because my hands were underneath it. So I'm just really struggling here to lift it into the cart. So here I am, and I counted 3 able-bodied men walked past me in the parking lot, and they just kept going into Costco, and none of them offered to help me. I was just kind of shocked by that. Now, I do have that girl power spirit where I think I can do everything for myself. I'm like, I don't need help from them. And I'm not going to ask, right? So I'm standing there and I'm lifting. But at one point I was really struggling. But when you're an able-bodied man and you're walking past a woman, especially a pregnant woman who is struggling to put things into her car, it just seems like common courtesy manners to stop and ask if she needs assistance. And I think regardless of whether you're a man or not, if I was walking into Costco and I saw a woman or anybody struggling, an elderly person, I would offer to help them. I just think it's just what you do. Do you know what I mean? But yet, for some reason in our society, we are losing that a bit. Now listen, I'm not some damsel in distress who needs help from people to do things, but I'm just talking about this specific instance, which made me really grateful for my husband because I know that he would never do that. My husband is the type of man who would help somebody if he was walking past them and they were struggling, no matter who they were. So I'm not saying the whole world is like this, and there are good people out there. However, I'm just seeing a trend. So common courtesies are the things that should just come naturally to us, that the politeness that we should extend to people on a daily basis, no matter who they are. And it's just from the very basic, please and thank you and excuse me, to things that are a bit more, like offering someone a glass of ice water on a very hot day who's working at your home, or offering to help somebody who's struggling in front of you. Holding the door open for the person who's coming behind you rather than just letting it slam in their face. These are things that used to be obvious at one time, I think, and now they're slowly losing it. Now there is hope for society because of course there are wonderful stories of people out there who help other people and are kind and courteous. And I think it's important to do a video like this so that we can elevate those people and elevate those actions and hopefully continue to carry them on ourselves. So my message to you this week on common courtesies is, now that you've heard my 3 stories, is that no matter what you experience throughout your day, in your life, on a regular basis or not, I want you to never let go of your sense of duty, of your common courtesies, even if it never gets extended back to you. Because truly, you are the only hope that this world has as far as etiquette and manners go. You have to be a role model for somebody, and you have no idea how much your actions can affect somebody else in a positive way. Let's say the playset worker never told me that, never said anything to me about, I really appreciate how you treated me in your home. I wouldn't have known that he felt that way, but it did affect him in a positive way, and I love that. We never want to be that person in the grocery store checkout line, just completely ignoring the clerk ringing us up, just chatting on our cell phone and not even saying thank you. We never want to be that person. We want to be the person who waves thanks to the other car that lets us in. We want to be the person to say excuse me, or to hold the door open, or to help somebody. Or if someone gets on the bus, an elderly person or a pregnant lady or someone who looks like they're struggling, we want to be that person to give up our seat for them. It's important. So no matter how dejected you feel about your common courtesies not being reciprocated, I urge you to carry on. Now, in this video, I would love to hear from you. What is your experience with common courtesy? Do you have any good stories to share with us? Do you have any horror stories to share with us? I want you to leave it all in the comment section below. I love hearing your comments. I hope that you notice on the blog each week, I pick 1, sometimes up to 4 comments of the week, and I like to share them on the blog. I like to post what the community is posting because it's important to see what insight you have as well. Just wanted to close with reading this little paragraph here from Polish Your Poise with Madame Chic. And it says, perhaps every morning you pass a neighbor on the sidewalk who ignores you. You could consistently say good morning to that neighbor each day with a cheerful smile. Don't worry if the neighbor responds to you or not. That's none of your business, and don't take offense if he or she doesn't. You are keeping your side of the street clean by greeting your neighbor. Sometimes when I encounter a grumpy neighbor who's intent on staring at the sidewalk intensely rather than greeting me, I shrink back and I think I better not say hello. But this doesn't feel natural to me. It feels unnatural to ignore my fellow man, so I always say hi. This usually brings the neighbor out of his or her funk, and that neighbor either says a belated hello or just looks at me in shock. Has life on earth become so impersonal that a simple greeting has become shocking? Perhaps. As a poised person, practice common courtesy. Don't worry what others are doing or not doing in your vicinity. They will either come around or they won't. The point is to not compromise your integrity. Don't let other people get you down. Communicate your grace by employing common courtesy on a daily basis. And that is the thought for the day. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Connoisseur. I'll see you soon. Bye.